Monday morning commutes are usually a drag, but if you were driving down Route 28 in Andover this morning, traffic was anything but usual. That's because a hot air balloon made an unexpected landing near the on-ramp to I-93, landing on a small median smack dab in the middle of oncoming traffic. The balloon ride took off from the Stevens Coolidge Place. It's a museum about 6 miles away in North Andover. It's part of a larger exhibit about the landscapes of Massachusetts. But while the plan might have been art installation, clearly the reality landed a little closer to a traffic violation. Our own arts editor, Jared Bowen, you ready for this? Was on the balloon, and he joins me now. Before we even get to the story about what happened, why were you in a hot air balloon to begin with? I don't quite get the art installation part.
Well, this is an art installation convened by the trustees of reservations, and this is by the artist Doug Aitken, and it's traveling across Massachusetts, started last week and continues this week out to the Berkshires, and it's really about convening people, about sending this floating sculpture into the sky, and then it touches down, and they have singers, and they have speakers, and people meet. They had a big event at the Crane Estate this week, so it's about bringing society together.
But so it's to bring attention to all of the places it lands other than the highway. Is that, no, I'm serious, but that's the whole notion behind this thing?
The glory of the trustees of reservations is they have all these fantastic historic sites, and so that's where it's been highlighting.
So as I said to you before we started, if you held a gun to my head and tripled my pay, I would not get in a hot air balloon. Did you have any trepidation before you got in?
Oh, none. I was so.
Had you ever been in one before?
I had never. I've been skydiving. I've been in a blimp. I've been in the hood blimp, but I've never been in a hot air balloon. And I was so excited because there was this debate about whether it would go up just tethered or whether we would fly. And
this was untethered.
And it was untethered, and we were able to fly this morning.
For a while.
Yes.
So what exactly happened? I mean, it's not. We're both laughing, but I mean, this is scary.
Well, people say it was scary, but honestly, I'll tell you, Jim, I didn't feel that it was scary. So we're going along, and what I did learn today is you are completely at the whim of the wind.
Because you can't steer the thing, right?
It's difficult. So you really have to go, and it has to be a very clear day, which this morning was, so you have to be very careful about when you go up, but we tried to touch down in a field. It didn't really work.
No.
We tried to touch down in a parking lot. Didn't really work. The pilot brought us back up. We barreled through some trees.
And he says, why don't we land on the highway instead? Is that what he says?
Well, no. What he said is we're now coming to a point where we're going to be crossing highways and we're coming across a pond. So in order to not do that, I want to get us down in this little tract of land, which happens to be a median at a relatively busy intersection in Andover.
So you weren't scared when you got into the hot air balloon. As the balloon is descending, I know you're saying it's a big nothing. It's not a big nothing to me. As you're descending, essentially onto the highway. I mean, we show this photograph you had from this commuter, Jim Braude. He has a photo of this, you being on the on-ramp there. Were you scared as it was coming down, or?
I actually wasn't for some reason. The one thing that I thought was, this doesn't seem like the most appropriate thing because I could see the traffic coming. I could see the big traffic sign, and I thought, what if the balloon hits it? However, I turned around to Andy, the pilot, and he looked so calm, so nonchalant, and I thought, well, if he's not worried, I have no reason to be worried.
Did you have a camera person with you?
We did. Howard.
Was that
Powell.
Howard Powell,
yes,
who works on the show most nights? How did he take the whole? How would you describe his reaction?
Well, the picture you're looking at now, I actually took in the blimp of him.
Oh, that's Howard right there.
This was earlier in the voyage. I think Howard may have been a little nervous, but he shot the entire time, so we have all the footage of the
nervous
descent.
meaning petrified. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not going to speak for Howard, although I'll speak for Howard and say probably petrified.
We invited him on tonight. He was otherwise engaged, even though he works on the show. So you do this again, yes?
Oh, absolutely. Because, and I'll tell you why, Jim, one of the most special things happened at the end. When we touched down, we pulled the balloon off the highway, and it transpired exactly as the artist Doug Aitken wanted, which was to bring community together. People stopped, people got out of their cars to help us get the balloon off the road. They wanted to help.
I have a lot more questions, but unfortunately, and I'm really sorry, I have to bungee jump off the Tobin tonight.
I'll be with you.
So I won't have time. You're nice to see you, Joe. I'm so glad you're well. Say hi to Howard when you see him. He didn't show up tonight.
When he comes down.
You can catch a full story this Friday on Open Studio. That's 8:30 p.m. right here on WGBH2.